This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Good news for Tesla. Its plant in Germany is going to increase production for the rest of the year because of strong sales orders. That plant ships the Model 3 and Model Y to 30 different markets, and it says it's seeing increases across the board. We know that sales are strong in Denmark and Turkey, but they've shot down this year in all the major countries in Europe. However, maybe this is a sign that things are turning around. In other Tesla news, Elon Musk bought $1 billion worth of Tesla shares as both a sign of his confidence in the company, as well as a response to the board's offer to pay him $1 trillion, which includes him staying on board and boosting the company's market capitalization to $8.5 trillion. Tesla stock jumped 7% on the news, sending its market cap to $1.24 trillion. We're starting to see more cracks appear in China's auto industry. You may remember that a couple of weeks ago, we reported that BYD said it would miss this year's sales target by nearly 1 million units, and its net profit dropped 30% in the last quarter. So, shareholders are running for the exits. They're dumping the stock, which is down 30% from its high this summer, wiping out $45 billion of market cap. The Chinese government is warning its auto industry is about involution. We had to run to the dictionary for that one. It means a shrinkage of body parts in old age. What it means for the Chinese auto industry is that it better get ready to shrink fast. A couple of weeks ago, we reported that the CEO of Xpeng warned that only about 5 Chinese automakers would be left standing by 2030. Now, the central Chinese government is taking Dongfeng private and will sell off its EV operations. Now, over to the U.S., where UAW President Shawn Fain warned the Detroit Three that he's going to demand full pensions and full health care for retirees in the next contract. That would add a lot of tension to those negotiations. Pensions and health care were the 2 main reasons why GM and Chrysler went bankrupt in 2009 when the credit markets froze. In March, Magna signed contracts with a couple of Chinese automakers to build EVs at the supplier's plant in Austria. While the automakers are importing semi-knockdown kits to be assembled, there will be enough local content for them to avoid the EU's tariffs on imported Chinese EVs. Magna is also benefiting from the partnership. That plant in Austria has the capacity to make about 150,000 vehicles a year. But Magna lost contracts with Fisker, Jaguar, BMW, and Toyota, which only left the Mercedes G-Class. And even before all those models were gone, in 2023, the plant made just under 72,000 vehicles. But last week, AION, a brand of GAC, kicked off production of a couple of models there. And now Xpeng will send kits for its G6 and G9 models to be made by Magna in Austria. Volume will likely be low at first, but more models are expected to follow.
The automotive and industrial sectors are undergoing a historic transformation. Electrification, digitalization, supply chain reinvention, regulatory shifts. The pace is accelerating and the pressure to adapt is real. This is not a time for hesitation. It's a time for bold decisions, backed by fast, effective execution. You need a partner who understands complexity, from factory floors to boardrooms, and delivers measurable results. That partner is Alex Partners, when it really matters.
General Motors is struggling to sell its BrightDrop electric vans, but this could give it a boost. Amazon is testing a small fleet of 12 BrightDrop vans as part of its effort to reduce its carbon emissions. But there's more to it than that. Amazon can likely negotiate a good deal on the vans, since we saw that GM had piles of inventory and it could be desperate to sell them off. Amazon currently has 31,000 electric delivery vans in its fleet, mostly from Rivian, and it wants 100,000 by the end of the decade. After several delays and a scaling back of the program, we wondered if Ram would cancel its full-size electric pickup truck. Well, that's exactly what happened. The brand announced it will discontinue development of the model, which was supposed to be called the Ram 1500 REV because of slow demand for full-size electric pickups in North America. Ram is still moving ahead with the version of the truck that uses a range extender. However, it's dropping the name Ram Charger, and it will be called the 1500 REV instead. You may remember back in June that Ram also announced it's bringing back the Hemi V8, and then Jeep revealed that it would get V8s too. The CEO of Ram said the brand, quote, screwed up when it dropped the Hemi and went solely with its turbocharged six-cylinder engine called Hurricane. Exhaust note was part of the problem. He said even customers of the RHO, which has its own special intake and exhaust tuning, told him they want more attitude from the truck. So Ram teamed up with Magna to offer a couple of performance exhaust systems for the RHO that provide better sound and flow. One is a bolt-up system that costs about $2,100, and the other is a customizable system that costs just under $3,100. And going back to Stellantis and cutting back on EV plans, this has been a bigger trend at the company under new CEO Antonio Filosa. Alfa Romeo and Maserati have both canceled plans to go all electric. And Chris Fuel, the CEO of Chrysler, told us recently that it too was not going electric only. She said a planned electric crossover will now have a multi-energy lineup, including some form of hybrid. It's a D-size CUV made on the Stella Large platform, same as the Jeep Wagoneer S, and it will come out in 2027. WeRide is rolling into Belgium. The Chinese autonomous driving company just launched its Robobus, or Shuttle, in the country, making Belgium its 11th global market and the 4th in Europe. Testing starts this month with a safety operator on board, and if regulators give the green light, public service kicks off in November and runs through January of 2026. That makes it the first commercial deployment of AVs in mixed traffic in Belgium. Passengers will be able to book a ride using an app or subscription, and if the trial proves successful, the shuttles will move into regular service as part of the city's public transport network, with the ultimate goal of going fully driverless. Toyota just kicked off sales of its e-Pallet electric vehicle in Japan. The Boxy BEV is designed as a multi-use mobility platform, serving as a shuttle, mobile store, or even an entertainment space. The model features a nearly 73 kilowatt-hour battery pack that delivers 250 kilometers or 155 miles of range. It features a roomy interior, large windows, low floor with wide sliding doors, and full wheelchair accessibility. The e-Pallet supports Level 2 automated driving today, but it will be used for demos with partners as Toyota works towards a Level 4 launch in 2027. Other features include steer-by-wire and bidirectional charging, so it can be used as a power source in emergencies. Toyota will deploy the e-Pallet first in Tokyo's Arena District and Woven City, where it will support transport and retail services. Okay, it's time to go over the results of our latest poll. Many vehicles feature different drive modes to change the driving dynamics of the car, like normal, eco, and sport, and we wanted to know what your experience with drive modes are. Only 16% said you love them and switch modes on a regular basis. 57% said you sometimes switch, but mostly keep it in one mode. And the remaining 27% said you never switch and the option should be dumped. Here's some of the comments that we liked. Nah really likes the option and says, all the time, but only in cars where it makes a big difference in character or performance. Otherwise, I just pick the most comfortable setting. Evan Bauer says, the traction modes are an important safety function when one needs to drive in bad conditions. Others, sport and eco for example, provide fun or a little extra range on the highway. Keep them even though most of us change them infrequently. Pinky McSunset says, I never switch, but my wife and I use different settings. It's nice that it drives the way each of us prefer. AC Held had this to say, quote, I like having the option, but the truth is, I rarely change modes. Once I figured out the best combo for me and my Merc, I leave alone for the most part. And lastly, WT9653 says, if dumping the features lowers prices, dump them ASAP. And thanks for all of your comments. We really enjoy your feedback. But that's it for today's show. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Alex Partners, when it really matters. CSP, the Composites Solution Partner. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And thanks to the following YouTube and Patreon members.
Developing today's vehicles. Issues can happen in an instant. When's the best time to solve a problem? The minute you know you have one. Meet Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your secure, off-the-shelf solution empowering real-time collaboration for quick resolution. With Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your team can prevent issues before they can escalate. Driver communication data and remote diagnostics to analyze and resolve your problems using OTA, allowing your executives oversight throughout the process. Wireless NeoVi Cloud, your vehicle update solution in production and on the road. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
At CSP, we work with OEM engineers across the country on their journeys to lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly vehicles. Learn more at thecsp.com.